Welcome to NinjaNegotiating.com. This is Chris Haskins, and I'm your host. This particular audio, we're going to jump right in. We visited a homeowner, and we made the determination that this deal is going to be a subject to deal. We're going to attempt to buy this property subject to the existing financing. We're going to be taking over the payments directly from the lender. We're going to be making our payments right to the lender. So this is an extremely important strategy that you need to know, because most of your leads are going to be subject to deals, or they're going to be over leveraged, meaning that the homeowner owes more than what the house is worth. And all you can do is take over the payments, give them some debt relief. So watch my poise, watch how I talk to this guy, watch my posture as I explain my situation to him and what I can do for him, and he can either take it or leave it. That should be your position with these type of deals. Take it or leave it, and don't spend that much time with the homeowner, because these type of deals, either the person is on board or not. There shouldn't be that much convincing. This is what we can offer you. Would you like our solution? Yes or no? Okay, let's get right into it, guys. And I did want to mention that I did have a coaching client along with me. Antoine is going to be there. You may hear his voice coming in, but there is one homeowner, and then there's two of us talking to the actual homeowner about this deal. You may hear him come in and out at times. All right, here we go.
You said you needed the last statement.
Yeah, your most recent mortgage.
If you have a business card, I can scan it and email it to you, but I put everything in storage.
Even your mortgage statement and stuff?
Well, all my bills and stuff.
Good. Okay.
And when you mentioned it, it didn't even dawn on me. I was like, oh, I'll go find my filing cabinet and get it. And then I realized, oh shit, as soon as we got the phone, that's in the back of my storeroom.
Okay.
But I'm expecting one in the next couple of days for the next month.
Okay.
So I'd scan it right in and send it to you.
All right, that's an extremely important note, guys. Please remember this. You see, the first thing out of his mouth when I showed up was, I don't have my mortgage statement, or you said you needed a mortgage statement. When you're doing these subject to deals, when you're going to a lead that the only exit strategy is doing a subject to or taking over the existing financing, there's two documents we need before we even begin. I need to have your most recent mortgage correspondence, your most recent mortgage statement, and we need to get a release, something that we'll get into later, a release of information. But the first document is the mortgage statement. Why do we need that? Because we need to verify your monthly payment and how much you owe. I can't tell you how many times somebody has told me that their payment was $600, and then I get there and the mortgage statement says it's $780. So people, I don't know why homeowners lie. They just do not tell the truth. So you see, the very first thing, I'm pre-qualifying these people over the phone. So the first thing that they need to give you when you get there, or sometimes you're there, they need to know that you're going to have to give me the most recent mortgage correspondence or something from the lender stating what your payment is and how much you owe. Without that, I really can't qualify you for our subject to program, because what you tell me may not actually be the exact truth. So before you get there, Mrs. Homeowner, Mr. Homeowner, would you mind having your most recent mortgage statement there so we can just verify everything you told us? And if they have a problem with giving you a mortgage statement, just tell them, hey, we trust everything you're saying. We just have to verify it with our committee. When I sit down with the committee on Monday, they're going to say, hey, where's the proof that the payment is $600? So take the burden off of you and put it on the committee. Say, hey, listen, the committee needs to see this stuff when I present it, when I present this deal to them. And who, may you ask, is the committee? Well, it's me, myself, and I. I look in the mirror and I say, hey, let's look at the mortgage statement to verify all this stuff before I'm going to even waste my time thinking about doing this deal. All right. Well, I have a business card in the car. I didn't bring it.
Sorry.
What I can do, I can give you one before we leave. So yeah, it usually takes about 30-40 minutes if you want to kind of get to know you a little bit and see how we can help you, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Sit down here. Or,
yeah, Princess Clem.
That's my wife's name. So where you from?
See you guys.
Where you from?
I'm originally from Wisconsin, and I came here due to the military.
Okay. I lived in I know there. Well, I lived in Minneapolis for a few years.
I retired here not expecting it, and then got a government job, and with cutbacks and everything, it was a contract job, so I'm kind of unemployed right now, but I got resumes everywhere because there's government jobs available, so I really don't know where I'm going.
All right, what did I just do? I established a common denominator with the first question that I asked him. He's from Wisconsin. I used to live in Minneapolis, which is about 40 minutes from Wisconsin, so I can relate. What are things common in Wisconsin and Minnesota? The snow, the freezing cold, the cheese out there. So there are a few things that I can talk about when establishing rapport with this seller. So I'm going to keep that in mind, that he's from Wisconsin and I know a little bit about the Midwest myself.
Or are you IT or what do you do?
Oh, I was medical in the military, so
Okay.
I don't have anything right now.
So when did you move here?
I bought the home in 2001. I got orders to a ship in 2000, and it was supposed to be 3 years orders, turned into 5-year orders.
Okay.
And then left the ship and went to Portsmouth Naval Medical Center.
Okay.
And out of there 3 times got sent to Iraq. So
Okay.
that's why it's like it is, because I bought it thinking, oh, I'm going to have shore duty soon. I can remodel the house.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up doing 3 tours, deployments
Wow.
with the ship, and then the war broke out, went to the hospital, and they kept sending me over to Iraq because I'm FMF, which is Fleet Marine Force trained.
Okay.
So every time a Marine unit went out, I got stuck going out.
Wow.
Okay, what did we just learn? We learned he has a medical background. He's in the medical field. He's ex-military. When he was in the military, he went overseas. So he's seen some type of combat being overseas with the ships. So just keep that in mind when you're relating and having the conversations with him. You can kind of pick and choose with the conversation and the subjects that you want to talk about.
So you got kids here or what?
No, not married. My brother, he's here helping me move stuff. He's in the back with my small dog, and he bought up his 3 dogs since he's been here for a couple months.
From Wisconsin?
No, he's from North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
That's where my dad and stepmom are at.
Okay. So did you get one of my flyers or how did you hear about it?
It was on the door, a flyer,
Wow.
6-7 months ago, and I just set it
okay,
aside.
okay.
And I was doing fine, and then with cutbacks and losing the job and that, the contract just didn't get picked back up. I used my savings.
All right, what did we just hear just now? We heard how he found out about us. He got one of my door hangers, and you can get the copy of my door hanger from my wholesaling course. I had a team go out and put door hangers on doors. He's had it for 6 months, so you never know when somebody's going to call you. And he said he's ran out of money using his savings because he lost his job. So we know this guy's pretty much out of money. So keep that in mind also when you're going to be asking your questions and gently turning the knife and when you're agitating that problem. Don't forget, we want to find out what the problem is, agitate the problem, and then be the solution to the problem. That's our main goal today.
So you were with one of those companies that is a subcontractor for the military?
Yeah. Okay. I was just a clerk at the hospital. You know, the Spectrum, and they subcontract to them. So basically, I was just a clerk at a clinic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now this guy's telling me that he said he was the clerk at a clinic. Now, just a few minutes ago, he was telling me that he was in the medical field in the military. So as I talk to him and I dig a little bit, I'm finding out that he really wasn't actually a medical person. He was kind of like medical staff supporting the medical personnel. So it looks like, I don't know if he's got job security or not. Just being the clerk may not require too many skills. So let's keep finding out why he's in this situation.
And was hoping, because that's how they get in. You get one of those jobs, and the retirees can get in to a stable government GS job. I mean, I still have friends up in DC and down in North Carolina and things trying to get me in and talk up. But it's just,
That's crazy.
It don't matter what your points are. You could go in there, and if you don't know somebody to help you get in.
Were you active military?
Yeah, I did 24 years.
Holy cow.
I mean, it's not like I'm destitute, but...
So, wow, sounds like this guy was in the military 24 years, and now he's just getting out and he just does not know what to do. And we get a lot of that in our area. People being in the military, and when they get out, it's a huge adjustment from getting direct deposit for the last 24 years of your life Now you're having to go out and make a way for yourself. It can be extremely challenging, and my heart goes out to all of our soldiers that have come back and they're in this situation. So we're going to see what we can do to really help this guy, because he has a legitimate hardship. The reason that he can't pay his bills is because he's got out of the military and he doesn't have that steady income anymore from that government job.
Well, like I was mentioning on the phone, with the appraisal on this house and my escrow, it just raised the house payment above, it's fine when you have your retirement and another income coming in, but the house payment plus your other bills, utilities and things, it just sets you back.
Man, this is unbelievable,
Okay, as I'm listening, I hear escrow, I hear appraisal / what he really means was the assessment, and I hear retirement. So it sounds like he has some type of retirement coming in. So he does have some monthly income, but I'm sure that's not enough to cover his bills. Second thing I'm hearing is he said the appraisal has gone up. What he really means is the city assessment has went up. Now, when that happens, that raises your real estate taxes. You can be paying $100 a month, and if the city says, hey, we think your property is worth more, then you'll be taxed for more, which means your monthly payment to pay those real estate taxes is going to go up. He said escrow. Now, escrow is when the mortgage company holds a portion of your monthly payment to pay the real estate taxes. So if say your payment's $1,000, $100 or $150 of that may be escrowed or withheld to pay your real estate taxes whenever they're due. In our city, they're due every twice a year, June and December. So he said his escrows went up, which means basically your monthly payment goes up to pay those real estate taxes. And I have seen these escrows or taxes actually price out people from a particular neighborhood, and it's exactly what it's doing for him. So I think he's going to tell us how much they went up now. He'll get into that. But you could be paying $800 today, and a year or two, if your values go up or if the sales around you start going up, you may end up paying another $200-$300. You may start off at $800. Now you've got $1,100. Everybody if you're listening to this, keep that in mind too. If you're going to get a mortgage, they may say you've got a 30-year fixed mortgage of $800. That does not include the real estate taxes. They could go up or down. So just make sure you're aware of that before you buy.
Well, make sure the veteran, I try to hire veterans when I can, where we rehab them, our contractors, man, I have no problems out of them. This is really crazy. So you are retired military then?
Yes.
So okay.
I retired in 2009.
Retired military. And this thing is assessed for what?
At the
I guess
tax appraisal thing, it's like 132.
I thought it said it was 2 something.
No, that's what it was that drove my payment outrageous.
Okay. So it's back down to 130 something?
Yeah, well, I'm sorry. 143, I'm sorry.
Okay, we have to get an understanding of where he's coming from. The city appraisal is what he's calling it, but it's really the city assessment. He's saying it's 130, 140 something. Before I got there, he said it was up to 200. So he had a $70,000, $80,000 swing with his real estate assessments, which is going to make your payment go up. And he just wasn't prepared to pay more for his real estate taxes.
So it's back down. So you still have...
It was up to 210. Like I said, I bought it for 99 in 2001. And then 2004, when I went to the hospital, 2005, I was only going to do 1 tour there. Okay. And retire at my 20-year mark. Well, I'm sorry, 22-year mark. And I just, you get all those deployment pays. That's good tax-free money and everything. So I just kind of extended for 2 years. But the thing is the markets went up like crazy. Right. So I took out a second loan.
On the house?
Yeah, to pay off all my bills, credit cards and everything. Okay. And then I came upon a flyer in the thing, and I called him. I said, I can get refinanced for even a lower interest rate. I would like to take my first mortgage, second mortgage, and combine. And that was combined at probably almost 148, 150. Okay. And then I've paid it down because it's 123 at the last payment that I made, which was, this is what, November? So October, the last statement I saw.
23K, okay.
In some odd change.
All right.
But what I was saying is...
Okay, he's in the same boat that a lot of Americans are in. The market goes up, You refinance, take some money out, pay bills, credit cards, buy a new car. Now you've got this big old whopping payment that's just taking you out for the next 30 years, and you can't afford it, so you got to let the house go. That goes to show you that it's never a good idea to take money out of your owner-occupied house to buy consumable goods. Now, with investment properties, that's another story. If you've got to buy stuff, obviously you have to make that decision. But to take money out of your owner-occupied property to buy consumable, depreciating goods, just consider that. Make sure you think long and hard about doing that, because he's in the boat that a lot of Americans have done that. So he refinanced, took the money out. Now he's stuck with this payment for another 30 years or so. And I don't know exactly how much he took out, but he took all that money out and financing, $5,000 or $10,000 for 30 years. You just got to make sure you think about doing that.
When the market started going up, I kept getting these notices from the city.
06, 07?
Yeah, when everything started going up, I kept getting these notices. And they were like every 3 months, it seemed like I was getting it. Your house is 110, your house is appraised at 140, your house is, and then one of the doctors that was over there, that was a doctor in the military, he sold, and who's my next door neighbor, she even put her house on the market because she was like, I'm house poor because my house and hers, I think, is even one more bedroom than mine.
Okay.
My house jumped to $235,000.
Wow. Man.
And the taxes just drove my escrow up, and I could never keep up with it. So that's how the house payment, which started at $843, ended up to be $1,105.
Wow, you hear that? His house payment was $800 and some change. Now it's over $1,100 due to the real estate boom. This is just unbelievable, because this happened all over my town, and I'm sure in other towns in America. But you got to make sure you keep in mind that where you live, or if the real estate taxes go up, there's something you're going to just have to deal with. So just make sure you remember that when you're buying a piece of property that you plan on holding. So the real estate taxes actually priced this guy out of the neighborhood.
It's the guaranteed loan. The loan house payment doesn't go up unless they can't get escrow. And I get the notices because it's always been Chase Mortgage that I'm with. Mm-hmm. And I'd always get the notice, if you pay, $2,000, which they wanted, like $500 to go into escrow and then the rest for the taxes, we wouldn't have to turn around and raise your payment. Well, who's going to scrape up $2,000 when they're enlisted in the military and living payday to payday?
Escrow shortage is what they call it now. Yeah.
Even able to sell, so she turned around and took a second mortgage out and fixed up her house.
Did she sell it then, or what?
No, because the laws, once you take money out, you can't sell for like a year or something.
Oh yeah, the seasoning issues with the money.
So she turned around and put a new furnace in that, and then I started looking at doing stuff like that, and it was new windows. The kitchen is the original kitchen. I've added things to it to make covered space in that.
Okay.
But it's the original kitchen from 1932 when the house was built.
We'll get to that.
And so it was just way more than I could even borrow to fix this place up.
So your payment, if we were to pay off all the escrow shortages, could we get it back to $843? Is it maybe?
Well, I don't have an escrow shortage now.
So I thought we went up to 1,100. 11 what?
1105.
1105 because of the escrow shortages.
Yeah, because but
you still have to pay them up.
Back down.
Okay.
Tax value wise, I have kind of a surplus, but the thing is I can't afford it.
Is it still at 1105 or
yeah.
is it? We have to do a little investigating to find out what's going on, because something is that principal, interest, taxes, and insurance?
All that stuff, yeah.
All right, includes.
Everything comes out of the escrow.
Okay, another thing that we must know when dealing with a subject to property. Does this payment include principal, interest, taxes, and insurance? PITI. Now, the principal is the amount of the loan balance. Interest, we need to know what is the interest rate on that loan. Is it 5, 6, 7%, whatever it is. Taxes, are the taxes actually escrowed into the payment? And insurance, is the insurance actually escrowed into the payment? Typically, the insurance on a $150,000 home will be $50 to $60, $70 a month. And the taxes, the real estate taxes, I don't know what that's going to be determined by the city. So we need to know exactly what's included in that loan. Some loans are just interest only. That way, when you make the payment, the principal doesn't get reduced at all. So we need to know exactly what type of loan do you have. Do you have a PITI or just an IT, that's interest and taxes, or what exactly is included in that payment?
That's the little notices that I got that I do think I'm under my VA. I refinanced in 2004 and combined the two, and I just assumed it was the VA loan. So if the thing was going up because of like everyone else was losing their homes and they said the payments kept going up, I might not be under a guaranteed VA loan. I just assumed it was, I should say, because I kind of just signed the paperwork. Because in 2005 I was going to 2004 I was in the process of getting ready to go on another deployment with the ship.
Wow.
So I kind of just signed the paperwork because a lady called and she was like, well, you're approved. And I said, come over, we'll sign the paperwork because I'm leaving in a month.
Quick pass in the hair, that's how they did it. Is it an ARM or is it a 30-year fix, do you know?
It's a 30-year loan. What's an ARM?
Okay, it is an ARM.
No, what is an ARM?
Oh, it's adjustable rate. It's just like 5, 7, 10.
The thing has always said 5.2.
Okay.
So it's never gone up.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I was wondering, was it an ARM too? Because you said the payment went up.
Yeah, but the payment is from the taxes.
All right. We need to know the specifics on the mortgage. Is this an ARM, an adjustable rate mortgage, or is this a fixed mortgage? Adjustable rate means that your interest rate could change over time. He said it's 5.25 now. It could go up. It could go down. We don't know. But we need to know exactly what we're dealing with, because if we take the house over subject to, that means now that adjustable rate mortgage is now our mortgage that we're going to have to cover that payment for. And we will investigate that further if it is an ARM. Now, if it's a fixed, then we know our interest rate at 5.25 will be that for the next 30 years, for the life of that loan. But just more research that you need to do when getting into a subject to. Now, if it is an ARM, what type of ARM is it? Does it adjust every 6 months? Does it adjust every year, every 5 months, every 10 months, once a quarter? We don't have a clue until we find out whether it's an ARM or not. So that's some investigating that we're going to have to do as we go on to taking this property over.
We have to find out. We'll find out.
My, what was it? Little questionnaire I did on my insurance was in 2007 or 8. That's the first time that I've known my insurance went up.
Well, it's going to go up because the value, the alleged value of your house to replace it is going up. Allegedly, you know.
Because I got this detailed questionnaire and I was like, okay, and I just answered it. And then the next thing, like a month, 2 months later, I get a notice which is USAA. And they said, your insurance is going up on the house.
Probably double.
And I was just like, but I answered everything truthfully, how many rooms there was and stuff like that.
Crazy, man. So interest rate 5.25. Yeah, what we'll do is I didn't bring him with me just so we can get to know you a little bit, but we'll later, either later today or Monday, we'll get you a release. It'll let us talk to the bank to know exactly what's going on. Just a release.
All right. I just told him we need to get you to sign a release. That is a release of information, authorization to release information. All that does is allow us to talk to the bank on your behalf about your loan. Now, I've changed what I'm doing a little bit now. Now, when I'm going to subject to houses, I bring a release with me. So before I would just kind of go and do a recon mission and find out whether I want the deal. But now I have the actual document with me. And if you want to get a copy of an authorization to release, you can get one on our website with our subject to course. But you need to have an authorization to release information document with you when you go in there, get them to sign it so you can go right to the bank and start interfacing and talking with the bank about the loan and the aspects of the loan, the payment and all that stuff. How much are they behind, et cetera, et cetera. But the release of information is that second document we talked about at the beginning. You need the mortgage statement and the authorization to release information. Those are the two documents you need to get started on the subject to deal. Now, if you get some resistance with the release of information document, which sometimes I do, sometimes people don't want to fill it out all the way because it does require the social security number of the borrower. If they don't want to put that down, some people say, hey, I feel uncomfortable giving you the social. Well, just maybe ask if I can have the last 4 of your social. If they don't want to give that, then I politely say, Mrs. Homeowner, Mr. Homeowner, we can only help you if you follow these rules. I'm not even quite sure if you're going to qualify, but this is the only way. If you want us to help you, this is what we need to get started.
I've only missed one payment, and that was November.
Now.
And I'm not going to be able to make December's either because of relocating.
Yeah, tell me about that. Where you going?
Right now, just in North Carolina to family, and then hopefully to a job somewhere. Because I got a friend who said I can live with him if I get a DC job. Because, you know, they took Bethesda and Walter Reed and combined them.
Really?
The 2 major medical centers for the Army and Navy, and that's a test site, so it's huge.
Wow.
The building is there's like 50 buildings in this new medical center.
Good.
What did I just do? I want to de-stress him a little bit. I want to get his mind on where is he going to get him mentally out of the property. We want our homeowners mentally gone. We want them out of that house. Where are you going? How are you going to make that happen? So he's going to actually break it. He broke it down for me what his plan was. And that's exactly where I wanted him to be. He's following the negotiating strategies precisely. Where are you going? Let him talk himself out of this house so we can talk ourselves right into it.
How about the neighborhood? You like it around?
It's a good neighborhood. I've never had a problem.
You said you know the neighbors, both sides?
Yeah. He lives over there, and she's an 84-year-old. Her husband just passed away this year.
Okay.
And, I mean, matter of fact, I helped her with him a lot because he was hospice at home, that kind of stuff. I lives over there, kitty corner, with the trailer and stuff.
Yeah.
Him and his wife, and they have a little boy. And his wife and their little boy live right across the street.
Families mostly over here.
And I haven't met him. He works, matter of fact, for the city.
Okay.
She's in the next house.
So the neighborhood's good.
The house on the other side is the only thing is it's a good house, and it's for family, and it's the college owns it.
Okay. Which Hampton U?
Hampton U.
Okay.
And you know, if somebody's married and going to school there, and they put in for housing, they have houses scattered through this neighborhood that they give them to them.
Cool, man.
Okay, now I've done enough rapport building. It's time for me to start talking about the house itself. How many beds and baths, square footage, etc. We're going to start looking at the repairs, and we're getting ready to do our walkthrough. So keep that in mind. We've built rapport. We've been there for about 15, 20 minutes. We've established a relationship. So now I know he's in the boat rowing. He's in my boat. We're rowing the boat together. He's answering all my questions. Now I can get him talking about that house.
How many bedrooms and baths is this thing?
It's like 2 full baths, but it's split up. Upstairs is 1 full one. The toilet and sink are in there, and there's a bathtub in there.
Okay.
I don't know why they did it, but that's a bedroom, and upstairs 2 bedrooms, and then they got this tiny thing. I guess it used to be a nursery, but it's listed as a 3-bedroom. When the realtor showed it to me, she was like, "It's kind of a 3.5 bath."
Okay, there's a hot button for me. If you have to explain to me a house is a 3.5 bedroom, or you have to tell me that a tub is in one room and the tub is in one room and the toilet and sink is in another room, you have to explain that to me. That is going to be functional obsolescence, and that's going to be a negative for me, an arrow down. When I'm looking at these houses, I'm looking for arrows up, which are good points, and arrows down. That's definitely going to be some arrows down. If a 3.5 bedroom, I don't even know what that is. I want to be able to tell somebody this is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, period, or a 4-bedroom with a bonus room over the garage or something like that, not a 3.5 bedroom. So make note of that when you have stuff that's not just standard bedrooms. That's going to be an arrow down regarding resale or marketing the property to a family.
Hard to sell that, brother. And the time frame you're looking to kind of say, hey, I want to just be done with this. I want to move on.
December.
First of the year.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're gonna do the holidays here?
No, I'm going to Wisconsin.
Cold out there, brother.
My mother's.
Okay.
Also, to back things up, and I'll have her make a copy of it and mail it to me. But my cousin in Illinois, if I end up with a California job or something, she can sign paperwork if it goes past that.
Cool.
And it's a special power of attorney just for selling the house.
Yeah, it's called a limited power of attorney.
Yeah.
Okay, listen to my poise. I'm wishing him the best. I'm hoping positive things for him. But what did he just tell us with that? He said there's a cousin of his that has a power of attorney, a limited power of attorney that can sign to close this deal. So that lets me know that his level of motivation is close to 8, 9, or 10. So this is exactly the type of sellers that we want to be talking to. If he is taken out of the equation, we can still do this deal. I love those type of sellers, and that's who you need to be talking to. 8s, 9s, and 10s level of motivation.
Well, I hope things work out for the best for you.
I'm hoping too.
I hate to see veterans, man. You know, I see the news, whatever, but, you know, damn, veterans.
It's
you guys got a rough deal,
so
man.
big, so
You talking about
the government,
okay.
yeah, because right now the Navy's cutting back 50,000 positions. The Army's taking away something like almost 75 to 80,000 positions. So you have all these, because
domestic positions? I mean,
positions
in the U.S.?
in active duty positions.
All over the world.
All over the world,
Okay.
size of the military. So these people are all getting out. And
What are they gonna
heading
do?
back home, and they have to find jobs. I mean, I got my GI benefits for college.
School, yeah.
And that, but I haven't used it yet because I was hoping to kind of get into a job and then go to school part-time and then move up in the job.
Right.
Yeah, maybe they
Once you get in the government system, if I could get even like a 5-6 GS position, and I want to finish my degree in business, so then I could turn around and try to just step into a 13-14 position.
Right.
Wow, man.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I was talking to my wife about that yesterday. What are all these guys going to do coming back, you know? I mean,
Yeah.
what are they going to do? It's scary. All right. I guess we can go ahead and get the grand tour. I was telling you over the phone, since there's no equity in this deal, only thing we might be able to do is offer you our LAP program.
Bam, there's my proposition. In order for you to make a subject to deal work, you have to actually tell them what you're going to do to see if they're on board or not. Only thing we can possibly do, I don't know if we can do it or not. Do not tell them you can, because you need to go home and do your research or qualify them or even see if you even want the house. But you may qualify for our LAP program, LAP. That's our loan assignment program. Where did that come from? I just made it up. Some people call it the MAPS program, the mortgage assignment program. I've heard it called the deed program. But all it is where we just take over the payments, make it sound like it's something you do all the time. You are the professional, you're the expert, and you can do this deal because you do it all the time.
That's where it's our loan assignment program, where we just take over your payments for the life of the loan. It's pretty much the closest thing. It's just no equity here, brother.
Oh, I totally understand everything. And I knew that. That's why I've called you guys, because I've talked to one friend who's a realtor. And she was
What'd
just
she
like,
say?
well, that's what she's like. She goes, I can put it on the market, but she goes, in the neighborhood alone, in the whole area here, I mean, I've walked the dog and there's just like 30 homes.
Okay, what did I do? I qualified him for our LAP program. How did I do it? Listen to my posture, listen to my voice, listen to my poise. You may qualify for this, but I really don't know. The only thing that you may even qualify for that I may be able to offer you is our LAP program. Make sure you do not sound overly excited about this killer deal that you're getting, taking over somebody's loan that you will never have to qualify for. Isn't that great? You're going to be making the payments, never qualifying for the loan. But do not sound excited. Do not sound like this is a deal you want to do, because you want to be in the position that they want to sell you the house more than you want to buy it. Now, this guy has already talked to a realtor, and the realtor has told him that you can probably not do anything for him. So you're one step ahead. Typically, I tell people, listen, go ahead and talk to your realtor, see what they can do for you. That way, that gives you another arrow up, because you already know that the realtor cannot help them, because on a $140,000 house, just the realtor commission is going to be $5,000.
For sale.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they probably fix. I'm sure you got a nice house. I mean, people fix them up.
Yeah, they fix them up, and they're older homes, but they've been fixed up.
Yeah, man.
This thing, someone's going to look at it and be like, well, I'd have to sell it for anything like $125 at least to get my loan taken care of and pay the realtor.
Pay the realtor's $5,000, or $6,000 maybe.
Yeah, and so to turn around and do that, someone's going to be like, in tax value, it's always $10,000 to $15,000 more than what the home is really appraised at.
It could be anywhere. It could be anywhere.
Now, this guy This seller is already in the boat, rowing the boat. He knows that the house may or may not be what it's worth. He knows he doesn't want to pay realtor fees. He knows it's probably worth less than what he borrowed on it. So he is extremely motivated. He's in the boat. I really like this guy.
I've seen him anyway. It could be anywhere.
Yeah, so my luck is someone buy this thing expecting that 143 and someone come in and praise them, they're like 130 and they have $5,000, no money to fix it up.
The appraisal's they have this thing called which way the market is going, you know, so they're going to praise it if it's a down trading market.
The news yesterday didn't help it at all.
What did it say?
They said that they're only halfway, the country's only halfway through. There's another, they say anywhere from 10 to 25,000 people who are going to lose their homes in the next year.
Good gracious.
They said they're not done with people losing their homes.
It's scary, man.
So he's reinforcing that he's in the boat. He wants out of here. He's been watching the news. He just wants to be done with this burden of this debt and the upkeep of this property. So all I'm doing is agreeing with him. I don't even have to bring up the news, or I don't even have to bring up the realtor fees because he's already done that. This is going to be a motivated seller. These are the type of people that you need to be in front of. I think he may be a 9.32 in motivation out of 10. So these are the type of people that you need to be in front of for subject to deals.
When was this built? Was this 32?
1932. The extension was put on in 1970 or 71.
Okay.
And basically all they did was knock out the exterior wall, close that window and make it a bookshelf.
Let's go and get the grand tour. So this is
just start upstairs and work down then?
We can, yeah, whatever you like. You got gas or electric here?
It's heating oil.
Oil.
The tank's underneath the driveway.
Oh my goodness. So this guy has oil heat. Oil heat. I personally love oil heat because I know it's extremely warm. But today's home buyer that's going to come in and spend $140,000, they want to go to the thermostat, click heat, and hit a few buttons and have the heat pump come on cranking. So that's an arrow down regarding resale. There are only a few people that even understand an oil system, and it's expensive. So that's going to be another problem that we're going to be facing when we try to go sell this thing.
So you have radiators?
Yes, throughout the whole house.
Put my hat on.
When I first bought the thing, somebody came in and said it's not hard to switch it over to the gas system.
Okay.
It just needs a new pump put in.
All right.
But they wouldn't have to do anything else.
Cool.
This is one bedroom with a double closet space.
I like oil. Some people don't, but it seems to be the most.
Radiator heat is good because it's so warm. And you don't get that dry skin that you do with regular heat.
Yep.
This one's a little smaller.
I don't want to beat him up. I want to kind of give him a pat on the back there. I like radiator heat. I think it's good. And I want to tell him, just give him a positive compliment because he's already down in the dumps that he's retired military, and he's losing his house. So give him something positive to think about the heat, which just say something. It was the only thing positive I could think of at the time about the heating system because it is old. It will need to be upgraded or updated for today's home buyer. Now we're getting the grand tour of the property. We're going to be walking through the bedrooms, kitchen, and everything, baths, etc. And we're going to be looking for repairs that need to be done. We're looking for brown spots in the ceilings, whatever that pops up. We're just going to ask him about it.
But the space can be knocked out behind them because they're hollow behind them.
Okay, so the whole dormer goes all the way across?
Yeah.
Well, I wonder why they wouldn't.
Well, it goes down at the slant.
Okay.
But there's still room that you can knock it out, probably push it back a little bit, and even have storage room for smaller items.
I do. What is this? Your storage in here? We got a lot of stuff. What you gonna do with all this stuff?
Believe it or not,
wow.
Furniture is all going to go to Goodwill. They're going to come in and take it.
Okay.
I already got my old antiques. This is that tiny room I'm talking about.
All right. Small room, yeah. That's probably like a sewing room or office.
Yeah. They used to call it a nursery, I guess.
Oh, for the kid. Okay.
And this is the other room, and there is hollow space behind there that another closet can be put in. Because that was, all the hardware is in the garage because they start taking it off and take doors off to send them to get stripped, and then of course I got some tie racks, all that kind of stuff.
That stuff's expensive. moisture from
I
these
have
doors, man.
friends who
Oh,
were
they
at the
do it?
shipyard who could.
Oh, okay. Plane it.
Yeah.
They got a big old planer down there.
Yeah,
Just run them through.
The chemicals, they could just dip them in the chemicals they
yeah.
use for the steel.
You're lucky.
And then the bathroom, it still has the original plumbing,
Okay.
fixtures and everything. Subway tile, which is very old. There's no ventilation in here either, which affects the paint all the time.
Yeah, see. Well, they don't require it if you got a window for some reason.
All right, we're in the bathroom. We're looking for loose tiles. We're looking for spots where in the paint that are peeling from the moisture. We're looking if there's a window. We're looking for moisture damage around the wood, any type of rot. We're opening up the bathroom vanity to see if there's any plumbing leaking under the sink. And we're also going to do that in the kitchen. Open up those kitchen cabinets under the sink to see if anything's looking. But we're still in the bathroom. We're looking for any type of moisture damage, any type of paint peeling once again. And we're looking to see if the floor is soft around the tub and around the toilet. Just take your foot and just step around that toilet down there to see if it feels spongy, because that means there's some type of water leaking going on to the wood there. Now, I just want to reiterate this because you're going to take your foot and mash on the floor right around the toilet. If it's tile, you still can feel whether it's bouncy or springy. And that means that the toilet is leaking under the floor, and we're going to have to do some investigating on what's actually going on there.
Have the plastic on it because the
Yeah, that's fine.
wind just comes through.
Lead paint issue since 1932.
Whew, that's going to be a monster. I want to say hats off to my coaching client, Flora, there. He just sprung into action on that one. Are there any problems with the lead-based paint Are there any problems with lead-based paint in this house, being that it was built in 1932? That's another arrow down, and it's going to drive our price down or our offer down. Since there is no equity, can't take our offer down, but so low. But is there a problem with the lead-based paint? Just bring it out and see what he says, since he knows that the property was built a long time ago and there is a possibility of lead-based paint being in the house.
Yeah.
There is,
Yeah.
which I think is under, you can see it down where the air conditioner is, where I start sanding it or scraping it. You can see the multi-layers, which I think the lower layers probably are lead.
Yep.
This has been because this is, you can see it on the other side. This used to be the archway, and from what she told me, because she's been here since the homes were built, the original owners closed it in. So this is the wall, and this is the hollow part. They closed in that arch for heating reasons. This is just a closet. I have nothing in there. If you want to look, it's just a jacket closet. This is the extension here, which there is no insulation. Because I peeled back a little bit of paneling, all they did was throw the paneling up.
Yeah.
When they built this, they built it really quick in the 70s.
Yeah, man. This wasn't required back then, brother.
This is the bathroom it's just a bathtub, it's not even a shower.
Okay. Wow. Interesting.
Pretty much the dog.
What's that called? What would that be called?
When they sold it as a two-bedroom, a two-bath, and when I came to look at it, I'm like, it's a bath and a half. And they're like, no, they count it because they're all here on the main floor. I'm like,
I want you to picture this house. We've got a bathroom, actually just a small room with a sink and a toilet in it. And then you have to walk into another room that has a tub. So technically this is not a full bathroom. This is just some type of mess that somebody built and tried to make a full bathroom out of it. But this is his problem, not ours. And we already know there's no equity, so I'm not even going to try to beat this guy up too much. But he did not address the lead paint situation, and I really don't even want to waste too much more time talking about it, because all we can do is take over the payments with this house anyway. We won't have to go qualify for a loan, whether it has lead-based paint or not.
whatever.
Okay. Well, a tub can't be a bath. It has to have a shower, you know?
Then they got the other half right here.
Okay. So this is a use of bathroom.
And like I said, this is the original kitchen. I mean, when I moved here, this isn't even installed. I put this, and I put this up on the walls, because all it was that and those.
All right.
And from what was telling me, this was a double window when they had the extension and made a cabinet out of it. But there was nothing ever there, just the window.
That's cool.
Washer's here, the dryer hooked up, and I can take you down there because this is really weird. It has a basement.
Oh, the flood?
No, I've gone through 2 hurricanes. Pantry with the thing, but my plan was to turn around and seal that off, knock out this wall, and put a stackable unit where the bathroom is, and have this a pantry, laundry room type thing, and leave this here. And then you got your dining room right here, which flows through. I'm sorry, go ahead. This is the door, goes around.
Now you see he's having to do a lot of explaining with these rooms. We've got a dining room which flows through to the living room. The kitchen, I was going to move this to make a pantry here, blah, 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 etc. If you've ever been in an older house, you know that the older houses, they just don't flow like the newer houses. They don't have an open floor plan. So he's having to explain to me things that he would do or he would have done that possibly need to be done to make this house feel like a modern day house. That's another arrow down, but we're not going to qualify for a loan to buy this house anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Okay, nice. High ceilings too, I like that.
Yeah, I don't know why, but none of the fans in this house came with blades.
It was like that?
Yes. And the reason the power's to them, but this isn't like one you can fix up, but it's raised storage.
You're lucky it doesn't flood down here.
Yeah, I've never had a problem. I mean, that's just because that's my trash box. So the furnace works. I used it the first 2 years I was here. But as soon as the damn oil started going up after Katrina, I filled it up. I think it lasted me 2 months in 2005, and it almost cost me $600 for one fill up of the tank. I never filled it up again. I'm from Wisconsin, so I don't get cold. I sit around in sweats, and that heater is enough for me.
Yeah, this is nothing for you.
I throw all the blankets on the bed at night.
This is nothing for you, huh?
I do the one thing with the light.
And that's another thing you need to keep in mind when dealing with oil heat. It is kind of expensive because it's kind of old. A lot of people don't use it anymore, so they charge a little more to bring it to you. And that's once again a mental note, getting him out of the house. He doesn't want to have to keep paying for this oil heat. And when the oil heat gets too low, or when you use it all, they have to come and prime it to get it to work. I don't really know exactly how it works, but you better not use all of your oil, because you have pilots that run off of that, and when the pilots go out, it's just a big mess. So oil is another hassle when dealing with a house.
Chris is I have the lots all are the same going back.
They're big ones out here, actually.
But I have the largest
200 something, right?
because I have the paperwork and the thing.
Okay.
Wow. Don't freak out, it's a pit bull, but she is
I got
more
a pit
afraid
bull.
of you than anybody. Oh, my brother has them locked up in the garage.
That's cool. Okay. Wow.
I have where the garage is, that whole side used to be, I guess when they were laying this land out, this lot was the person who owned the property for the pecan grove years ago, so it was bigger.
Okay.
So this is bigger than any of the other, width-wise, length-wise, they're all the same. And it goes back to the second fence. I just have it cut off because the pit bull, she's afraid of everything except for the damn coons that live here. She chases those.
All right, so we got original windows, and was this original roof?
No, the roof was put on just before I bought the home. It's one of those 10-year aluminum shingles.
Okay.
But the flat roof has not been fixed up.
All right. Cool, man.
Okay, so we were just making a note. We've got old windows, which are the wood windows, and we've got an old roof. He said the roof was new, but it's only on the roof that he did that is new is only on the rear part of the property. It's one of those metal roofs. So we need to turn that into shingles. But make a note: windows old, roof old as well.
I think we've seen enough. I like it. So what I got to do is verify what's going on with your loan.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, I'll have no problem scanning that in and sending it to you.
Okay.
I should have it just in 2 days. Go.
I'll give you
Okay, I'm wrapping this meeting up. I'm telling him that I have to go and verify all the information with his loan. I'm letting him know that I am interested in it. I want him mentally moving out of the property. I want him thinking at nighttime, I think I've got a guy that can solve my problem, and it's going to be you.
I'm sorry. I mean, it didn't even dawn on me until after I talked to you.
what?
That I didn't have it. Everything was in the store. And trust me, the amount of crap that's in there,
I don't even want
it
to
would take me more time to get that paperwork than...
Yeah, just a release for the audio. That's all that you know is recorded. So what I'm gonna do is
Today's the 18th, right?
Today's the 18th. Yeah. I'll get in touch with you. I like to get that here. Let me just give you, just in case I don't have any cards. Here's my email. I was wondering.
My mom was one of my mom and dad met. It was right when females could stay in the military and get married. Mm-hmm. Before, when you got married, you used to have to get booted out, but it was right at the end of the 60s, beginning of the 70s. And so, you changed your name.
Now, okay, so you are the only one on the deed, right?
Yes.
I saw that and I was curious about that.
I'm the only person on, yeah.
All right.
That's a family name. I'm not married or anything like that.
Okay, what did I just do? I verified that he is the sole owner of this property. Sometimes there could be multiple owners of a property and only one qualify for the loan. So you have the mortgage statement, it'll have John Smith, and then when you look at the deed, it'll be Billy Smith, and John Smith will be the actual owners on the deed. So verify that he is the only owner on the deed. He's the only name on that deed, because ultimately whoever's name's on that deed is who has to sign off on this deal, regardless of who's on the loan.
So, there's no one else on the loan. I mean, I got the title if you want to see that.
What's in here, by the way?
Oh, this is just like a... Yeah, I just have it cut off because she likes to go in here and lay down.
Nice.
I use it as my office, but from what Dan told me, when they did the extension, they ran the radiator system and put that in, because that's different than the rest of them. And this is where the mother-in-law lived.
Okay. All right, cool.
I mean, the door does have a key for it, and it has a bolt on the bottom, so
you can come in and out there.
it's a skeleton key. So there's a
Wow.
It still opens.
All right. That's all we need for now. I'll be in touch with you probably, if not today, Monday.
All right.
Get that release.
And if I get that, whatchamacallit, the thing in tomorrow or Monday, I'll scan it right in and send it to you.
Yeah, you got my cell, right? You got my cell?
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. All right. Good luck to you. It's the first of the year. You want to get this wrapped up, right?
The 30th, yeah.
Well, yeah. All right, man. Good luck to you.
You guys too. Thank you so much.
All right. Now, this next audio is the second time I went to go visit the homeowner, and I took my authorization document with me, the authorization to release information document. That all that does is allow me to talk to the bank to find out what the arrears are, how much he still owes, and whether the property, just the status of the loan. Any questions that I need to ask, I can with this particular document. And any other questions that I have with the homeowner. So I went back to the property to get the release signed, and here we are at visit number 2 with the homeowner.
Oh, you scared me to death.
I saw you pull up.
How you doing?
Pretty good.
Man, I tell you.
My mess, I'm packing and putting things in storage.
Oh, really? Okay. How's your weekend, brother?
Just relaxing and packing.
Really? So you, that's right, first of the month, you're out of here, huh?
Lay down. No, go. Now.
My dog got sick this weekend. I don't know what happened to her.
Did she eat something?
You know what? I don't know what it is.
Glasses. The one thing in our conversation the other day, but our original conversation, I did mention it. You do remember there's a lien on the house, right?
This first loan or another lien?
There's a lien by the government because I owe the government some money.
Okay.
And basically, it just says if a profit's being made, I have to pay the profit money.
Well, this let us find out exactly what it is. How much is it? I'm gonna show you what this is.
Okay, we're sitting down together. I'm explaining to him what the authorization to release information document is and making sure he's signing, giving me his social security number and the loan numbers or any of his creditors that I need to know about. Because when you take over a subject to property, there is a possibility that you could inherit another debt that's on that house. But he did mention something about another lien that's on the house, and we're going to hopefully get to that, a government lien or something that's going to come along with it as well.
This is just a standard release, standard authorization to release. It just says you give your permission to my company just to find out what's owed.
Okay.
Really, how much you owe and what the liens are. We're going to put the borrowers down and the mortgages and all that stuff. I don't know what you have, but this will let us at least find out.
All it just says is whatever profit there is has to go to the federal government.
All of it?
Yeah, but then you said you're
we're just going to take over the payment.
Yeah.
What is that about? Tell me about that.
Okay, it looks like this guy has an additional lien against the property other than the first and the second mortgage. So we're going to have to use our release to investigate that some more because we don't want to run into that when it comes time to sell and we have a problem with our current homeowner having a lien on the house.
That was just because of some money that I owe the government. I want to leave it at that.
All right, I'll leave it alone. What's your name anyway? I got that PH. Is it Dash?
No, not there.
Okay.
That's my middle name.
All right. This is one. I got a copy of a gift to you on here of everything. This is a sad weekend, man. I don't know if you heard, but the choir director at Hampton University passed.
Oh, really?
He was my instructor. It's a sad weekend.
So were you into college?
Yeah. Yep, sad. Social security number, please?
328-25.
Now, take a serious note how I did that. Before I asked him for his social security number, I told him something personal about my life. I told him I had a very dear friend, an old college instructor, pass away this past weekend. So I got kind of personal with him. So in return, I asked him for something personal. So you give up something personal, and then I asked for his social security number, and he spit it out like it was nothing. If you hear some pauses in the tape there, that's just me muting out the important information that I can't actually make public. Whenever you hear the pauses, that's just what that is. And if you listen to that, rewind the tape, listen to how I asked him for his social security number. When I asked that question before, many years ago, I was kind of scared, but now I am asking it as if I already know you're going to give it to me. I don't ask it as if like, well, would you mind giving me your social security number? If you say it like that, it's all about your tone of voice, your posture, how you're actually talking to these people. And I need your name, address, social security number. Just say it just like it's another thing you need. Do not make a big deal out of it. Just ask them for it and they will give it to you.
Are you the only one on this loan?
Mm-hmm.
All right. What's the name of the first lender?
For who it's through, Chase Mortgage.
I have a personal preference. I like to fill out the release form right in front of the homeowner so they know exactly what they're getting. And then I have another copy under the one I'm writing on that I leave with them so they feel comfortable about the information that they just gave me. So I fill it out and I say, hey, here's your copy if you want to know exactly what's on that document. So I'm right there writing as they're talking to me.
I was hoping it would come and stuff, but like I said, as soon as it comes, I'll scan it in and
cool.
email it to you.
That's fine. I'll have to figure out which one it is because we don't have a phone number or anything.
Hold on, let me.
I'm
not sure because they keep a record of who I owe money to.
At least the weather's nice. You don't have to crank the heat up, man.
Oh, look what I just found. Of course, you can have this to help you. This is from September. I didn't know I had that.
Cool.
So that'll help you with the information.
Yeah, you got almost $300 in taxes and insurance, brother. $274. Is there a phone number on here? There it is, 800.
So here I'm just looking at the document he gave me. It's not a mortgage statement, but it's some mortgage correspondence from the mortgage company, and it's showing me that you heard me say his escrows, which are his taxes and insurance, or pretty much almost $300. So his monthly payment is only right around $800. Now the $800 is just going to be his principal and interest monthly payment. The other $300 or $274, what we found out, is the taxes and insurance on top of his principal and interest, which is what goes to the bank. And then that $300 goes for real estate taxes, which city tax, and just to insurance, just to insure the place.
And the second creditor you said is the IRS?
For the lien?
Yeah.
No, it's just the U.S. government.
Oh, just for the U.S. government. I'm going to have to find out about it. Just so we don't break any laws or anything, but we'll find out. You got any? Do you have a contact number for them at all?
Hold on 1 second.
This is my copy right here?
Yeah.
All right.
Now, this federal government lien, I don't want that to come back and bite me in the rear end when I go to sell this house way down the line. So I'm going to make sure that I get a contact number or a name, a mailing address, so I can just do some more research to find out what I'm looking at when I try to sell this property, if anything at all.
How old is this loan here? Do you know?
Yeah, it was 2004.
Okay.
I mean, there's no loan.
Yeah, this is a creditor.
There's no information on here. But, I mean, I can't really give this up. This is my
I don't want it, yeah.
But it's a consent of forfeiture of my checking
Okay.
account. And
So 2011. Okay, that's this year. Oh, this will be recorded. They'll have record of this. Yeah, this has been recorded at the courthouse.
it's in
You may be able to negotiate this thing, man.
because the only thing with it is I can give your number to them
No, it don't matter, man.
and they can contact you.
At this point, I see the documents he's showing me. I read that they have been recorded at the courthouse, which inevitably will be against him and against the property. So that's going to pop up when I do my title search. But you need to make sure you know exactly what you're going to owe if and when you sell that property way down the line, because the IRS or the federal lien will stay with him and will stay with the property. So when you try to go resell it, it may pop up, but ask your attorney about that.
But basically, it just says any profits being made have to be to the money judged against me.
Okay. Well, that's at the courthouse. If we need it, man, we'll either call you. Shouldn't be an issue, but I don't want to get no trouble with nobody.
Yeah, I mean, I already notified my lawyer that you were looking at the thing.
Okay.
And he was just like, make sure he knows about the lien and that. And I said, I mentioned it in the first conversation. I forgot about it when you were in here the other day. And basically all it says is, if you make any profits, that I have to turn around and give those to the thing. And I said, nothing's going to be made. He's looking at assuming the loan. There's too much work that has to be done in the house. I said, I'm basically what they call house poor.
Yeah.
Compared to what the equity is.
Yeah, it's no equity in this one. Yeah, I guess we'll have to work around it.
Yeah, it's just, I mean,
gotta deal with it.
they're not, like even the checking account, there's a lien on it for just the profits. There's no profit. My retirement goes in and it goes out to pay bills. Mm-hmm. If anything, I guess the way it works, if anything rolls over for 2 or 3 months, it's considered a profit, they take it.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry to hear that, man. I'm guessing, yeah. People got their things, man. All right, brother. That's your copy there. It's just okay. Yeah, it's everything.
Do you need my signature on that?
So he also has a lien against his checking account for this government lien or whatever it is. But that's something he has to deal with, and we'll have to do our title search. And I forgot to get this guy to sign the release. It was such a sad story to hear he has this lien on his checking account. Just kind of sad.
So do you sign it for him or what?
It's just kind of squiggle because I got tired of signing that whole thing.
Yeah, it is long. All right, we'll see what we can do, man.
All right.
Thank you so much for your time.
Well, thank you. Yeah, just go straight up.
All right, very important. How am I leaving this situation? My exact words. We'll see what we can do. I'm going to take this to committee. I'm not promising you anything with these subject twos. You never let them know that you can do this deal because you want them chomping at the bit to sell you this house. Hey, brother, we'll see what we can do. I'll be in touch with you. Always leave it open-ended with these subject twos because unless it's a killer deal and you want them to know, hey, this is a done deal. This one, a sub 2 deal, you can take them or leave them. There's so many out there. But if you leave that kind of uncertain note in their mind, then they're going to be contacting you and they're going to want to do that deal. And sometimes you can even get some money out of them. They can bring some money to the table to do these deals. Well, good luck to you. I hope you take over many, many subject to deals in your career. And my goal is to be able to provide you the negotiating skills and the exact words when you go to talk to homeowners to lock these deals down. This has been Ninja Negotiating with Chris Haskins. Over and out. I'll see you next time.